Good evening. Welcome to Love Talk. I'm Gregory Morgan. It is based on the science that our subconscious mind and our conscious mind communicate via language and images, thoughts, feelings, and language and images, and that language is the way that we store things. The only way that you know that a chair is because people call it a chair. This cup here has many different words in many different languages, but they all indicate a certain thing that holds a liquid. So the language will give you images, thoughts, feelings, and emotions that unlock subconscious thoughts and patterns. So most of our bad behaviors are the behaviors that we consider uncomfortable or that we wish we didn't have, or behaviors that disempower us, thought patterns and beliefs about ourselves mostly, and about others, secondly, that are disempowering or undermining or that block you from taking the actions that would otherwise fulfill your hopes and dreams and your highest potentials. Those blocks are not real. In other words, it's not real like a brick wall is to a car. Those blocks are imagined, and they are image. The word imagined means there is an image, and that image is connected with words and language. So neuro-linguistic programming is actually reaching through to the subconscious mind through language and repatterning disempowering thoughts and beliefs and releasing emotions that may have been trapped for years, keeping us from being our full expression of ourselves, expressing all of the love and the power and the vitality and the beauty and the poetry and the music and the love that we have in the world. We get programmed, conditioned, often by words, mostly by words, sometimes by actions accompanied by words, very, very early in life to behave in certain patterns. And so we begin to withhold that which is our natural self-expression, and we learn patterns of behaviors designed to have us survive as an infant in a world controlled by adults who they themselves were programmed and conditioned by adults as infants to behave in certain patterns. So basically, we are living in a world, a culture that is mass hypnotized. In other words, there is a cultural and worldwide agreement about a certain number of things, and we're going to talk about all those things during the show because it's really what I wanted, some of the things that I wanted to address today, and then we're going to see how that works out and how that applies in your own relationships in your life. So it's not a show about theory, it's a show that is designed to have you have access to more happiness, more fulfillment, more self-expression, more love, more passion, more intimacy, more connection in your life. And like all of the programs that we do at Embrace Growth, they're designed to have you access your own inner wisdom. It's not about us, my wife and myself, going around dispensing our version of wisdom. We share with you our personal experience and the knowledge that we've accumulated through the years and through our own relationships about what works and doesn't work. And we encourage you to practice some of these practices. And if they work for you, well, then continue to practice them. Of course, if they don't work for you, well, then, go try some other practices until you find what works for you. There is a mass agreement. We are hypnotized under a certain thought, and that thought is that there is this all-pervasive past somewhere behind us or beneath us that is the source of virtually everything. It's the source of all your knowledge, it's the source of all your spiritual beliefs, it's the source of all your discipline, it's the source of your body. In other words, there is a belief that we all have agreed upon, that we've been born into and inherited without ever having a moment's opportunity to reconsider if that's true or not. But there is an all-pervasive thought that there is a past, and that past is the source of all the good things and all the bad things that are happening in your life, all the things that you love and that you're happy and you're passionate about, and all the things that you hate and that you're trying to avoid and that you hope never happen again, or that you feel bad or guilty about, or that you're going to be doing everything in your life to make sure that that doesn't happen because it happened to someone else in the past, and some knowledge from the past told you don't do that. So there's an agreement that there's this past, and then there's also simultaneously with it, like the other side of your hand, can't have one side without the other, yes? The other side of that is, in this dualistic thought, that there is this elusive future that is not quite available to us, like we can't quite see it, but we can imagine it, and that if we do certain things, we may increase our chances of having certain futures, to be more wealthy, to be more healthy, to be more something. More than what? More than the past. So everything we're doing about the future, whether it's the future of your relationships or your business or your health, your personal finances, the way you look, the way you feel, your children's future, everything that you're doing about the future is all actions that you're taking informed by the past and projected into the future, into a likely future that you suppose or imagine may or may not happen, and that you are taking certain actions to make sure that that happens and to make sure that certain other futures that you want to avoid don't happen. The line of the present moment is so very thin between the past and the future that we are completely occupied. Our conscious mind is almost always completely and totally occupied full-time. It's a full-time job avoiding or correcting or apologizing for or going back to fix the past, or pairing and creating and working towards a future, so that there's hardly any time in your entire life in which you notice you have the time, because time is this thing that's always moving forward, yes, to actually stop and notice that what I'm about to say is radical thought for some of you and very familiar for others, that all there is the always present. There's only the present moment, now. And that's all there ever has been. And that thing that we call the past, that was only now, then. And that thing that we call the future will be now if and when it arrives. It'll always be now. That's all there's ever been. That's all there ever will be. That's all that's happening is right now. And that I realize that you can take pictures and you can report and you can produce evidence that there is a past. However, you don't have access to it. You can't go there. You can't do anything about it. All you can do is be here now. The one thing that most people avoid always is being here now. We're always in a movie or a book or driving the car or talking on the phone or planning for the future or working so that we can be in the future or working to complete something from the past. Like I said, we're hardly ever just being here now, present in the moment. And so the whole point of this conversation, how is it that it shows up in your own life? What arises for you? As I say, you've always been occupied with the past or the future, and you've never been present, unless you have. And for those who, meditation is the practice of stopping all that chatter and just allowing yourself to be in the ever-present now. When you're in the ever-present now, what you begin to notice is that there is an abundance of love, there's an abundance of power, there's an abundance of well-being, because you're always being well in the present. That once all of the thoughts about lack of well-being, about scarcity, begin to move away and drop and fall off, then what you notice is that it's an abundant and prosperous world, universe, that is filled to the brim with well-being and abundance and love and vitality. You begin to notice that you indeed have the ability to expand your awareness out and touch others, and you actually begin to consciously make choices about what you will and you won't do, what you will and you will not allow into your environment, into your space, into the beingness that you are, that you actually begin to have more. Well, it's not more, because more would be a comparison to the past. You begin to notice that you always have had more than enough, an abundance, in other words, of power, personal power. And I define personal power by the length of time and space between the moment you have an original creative thought and it becomes manifest in the physical world. When you're connected with your personal power, that is a very short distance in time and space. It happens almost immediately. Have you ever just had a thought and then boom, somebody calls on the phone and says, hey, I want to give you this or do that, or something arrives in the mail, or you just find something that that came almost out of your thought, that we call coincidences. I don't believe that there are coincidences. I believe that we are either in synchronicity, meaning synchronized, simultaneous thought, action, manifestation, thought, action, manifestation, that we are either synchronized with that or we're not. And so when you're not synchronized with what's wanting to happen already, then there is a lapse in time sometimes, or you attempt to create something and it falls through or doesn't manifest, or it takes years and years of time to manifest. So why is that? Let's talk about that for a moment, because that leads to the conversation that ultimately is where this is going. And that is a conversation around integrity. Now, most people think that integrity is just doing the right thing or being good, being honest or telling the truth. And while all of those are true, that's all true, that it's good, I don't necessarily agree that it is good or bad. To make it be good, it would mean to be out of integrity would mean you were bad. And that's not the case in my view. From the point of view of the present, something either is in integrity or it is not. And integrity has everything to do not with right and wrong and good and bad as in a moralistic judgment or an ethical judgment. However, later we'll talk about ethics and morals, but you'll see that they have nothing to do with integrity, ultimately. Integrity is simply what works and does not work. And so it is that if I wanted to suspend this pair of glasses in the air, integrity tells me that there's something called gravity, and that if I let go of it, it will fall. Now, the fact that it does that actually has integrity. It is in alignment with certain universal laws of physics that the glasses fall towards the center of the earth. That's being synchronized with how things are. In fact, it would be weird if they flew up off the table and hit the ceiling, wouldn't it? And so some of us have expectations in our relationships and in our lives in which we attempt to do things that are just as likely to fail as me trying to suspend this in the air. It's just as likely because it is out of alignment with how things work. Not good, not bad, but it would be amazing if it worked because it is so out of alignment with the universe. It is so out of alignment with the laws of how things function that some of the things that you've tried in your relationships and I've tried in mine, their chances of working out and having a harmonious outcome that produced more love and power and intimacy in our lives was zero. Okay, it was just zero. It was never going to work. We lived in a sort of hope or an imagined, or I'm going to say inauthentic relationship with reality. We're so busy attempting to make things work that are out of alignment with reality that it would be accurate to say that we have an inauthentic relationship with reality. In fact, we have no relationship with reality. We are relating to unreal, imagined principles in our relationships and in our lives and in our relationship to health and finance and so forth that couldn't possibly work, very unlikely that they will ever work. We are designed as human beings to live in a sort of hope. I hope it would work. Now, when it comes to hope, men and women are very different in this aspect. You see, because women have a lot more hope than men do. Why is that? Because their minds are quite diverse, and because their basic primal instinct is to preserve life that they're able to create in their body, nourish with their body, cause to stay alive, causing a child to stay alive until that child is actually in an adult state and can survive. Women are much better than that than men, and so throughout the ages, when the female brain was being formed, they tried certain things. They would experiment and try certain things to see if it worked. Some worked, some didn't, but they refined things. So their ability to, that is what hope is. It's like, I hope this works, maybe this will work, it's likely to work, let's try it. That's what hope's all about. So hoping that there is a future in which this turns out is a very feminine way of relating to the universe. Hoping that a man will stick around if, I have sex with him or have his child or go home with him, or hoping that he will love me 10 years from now or 20 years from now, hoping that if I disrespect him or disregard him or even cheat on him or whatever it is that women might do with a man, that it'll work out somehow. So women are much more likely to have a hopeful relationship to reality, which is, again, projecting possible future into the future that doesn't exist anyhow. There's only the present, based on information from the past, pulling that up in the subconscious mind, taking an action designed to have a particular future turn out, and then working to make that future turn out and adapting as circumstances and things change in order to assure that that works out in the way that they projected in the first place. That is brilliant. That's a brilliant talent. It can be a way in which we create a future and cause it to happen. So I'll come back to that in a minute, because I said that men have less hope than women do. Men, on the other hand, were trained by hunting, usually something that could kill them, so that it was kind of a kill or be killed situation, and so the stakes were quite high. When hunting a bear or a snake or anything that might kill you, hope is not a very good or reliable point of view. So hope this will work, that's disregarded by men. Is likely to work, well, again, when you're in war and it's kill or be killed, whether it's hunting an animal or fighting off an enemy that is life-threatening, I hope this works, or this may work, or let's try it, kind of gets disregarded by the person whose life is at stake in an intense situation. Have tried this before and it worked? That's a little bit more, maybe men will go there. Still in the realm of hope. Has been proven to work. That's what men are looking for. Has been shown to have worked over and over again reliably over time. Now that's where men are more likely to go in circumstances where they feel their life may be at stake, because it's not just their life. It could be the life of their whole tribe or the life of their family, so that if the man's life is threatened, it's actually many more people who are relying on him to not get killed. Men have less hope in the area of taking risks, and it's not about being a coward. It's not about not being willing to courageously face their fears. I think that they've proven over and over again that they are willing to do that. But in the realm of relationships, like maybe this will work, or let's try it and see how it goes, men are more likely to marry, which means I'm going to make a commitment. In other words, I'm going into the cave. I know there's a bear in there and I'm going in. They're more likely, I don't mean to joke and compare marriage to going after a bear in a cave, but to a man it could feel that way sometimes, or going to fetch the diamond from the dragon's mouth. There's many metaphors for men putting their life at risk for the love of a damsel. So for a man to risk a lifelong commitment, he needs to have some kind of assurance that this will definitely work. Now, I've covered from past, future, present, to integrity and synchronicity, being in synchronicity or in integrity with reality. And then I've also discussed the illusion that we live in, when we live in a hopeful relationship to an imagined future versus living in the present reality and actually having some power there. The whole point of this is, how does this apply in your life? In other words, where have you seen that you've had an actual inauthentic relationship with reality and it's caused pain and suffering for yourself and others, and you've spent a lot of time and effort and energy trying to create something from the future with no power to cause it to happen, or to clean up something from the past, or been haunted by the past so that you're ineffective in relationships? You may have found a pattern of failing relationships in your life and found that no matter what you do, you may have found that it's difficult to experience vitality, fulfillment, love, hope, happiness. And so the whole purpose of this conversation is to distinguish some of the traps and pitfalls that are surrounding being present in the moment, so that you have power to live a life of integrity, meaning, for me, in this conversation, integrity meaning being in harmony with the universe, God, the will of what wants to happen anyhow, and trusting, if you want to have hope, trust that that is a good and loving universe that actually wants your highest good. Integrity, as it applies to being in synchronicity, in other words, being synchronized, all of those things that you call coincidences, you and I call certain seemingly magical. We say, wow, it was magic, or it was surprisingly easy, or I just thought of something and something showed up. We think of those things and we speak of them as if they were impossible, surprised that they occurred, and that they're somehow miracles. I want to tell you that the access to miracles, what you call miracles, the access to having a life of ongoing coincidences or miraculous occurrences, surprisingly easy circumstances, is integrity. The universe works with integrity. This cup has integrity. It has a top, it has a bottom, it has sides, it holds liquid, it holds itself together without any effort in integrity. And if, as I demonstrated earlier, I won't do it with this, if I drop this cup, it would have integrity and go directly the shortest path towards the center of the earth, where there's the law of gravity drawing it towards the center. It would not pass through the table or the floor. There's a number of things that, having integrity, this cup would and would not do. If it did any of those other things, like fly up to the ceiling or float in the air, those things would appear to be miracles, also be kind of weird. Okay, they would be very strange if that happened. We wouldn't know how to relate to it. Consequently, things are automatically and easily and effortlessly working inside of an integrity with themselves. So when I'm speaking about integrity, as we speak about in the honor, integrity, and mastery workshops that we teach for men, we're speaking about coming into harmony with, coming into accordance with, in a very effortless way, in a very easy way, one's own sense of self-respect, honor, and dignity. You see, we already have ingrained within us as human beings a sense of honor and a sense of vitality and love and well-being. When men love, I call it honor. When men love each other, we say non-homosexual way, I guess, or even, I don't even know about that. You know, I don't even want to bring that into it. I just want to say when men show their love for each other or for others, what they're really showing, or how they hold it, is with a sense of honor. Why? Because love for men comes with a sense of duty, a sense of protection. So it has certain other things attached to it. A sense of honor is imbued in a man when he loves and feels love. And that is quite distinct from the erotic love, or what we call erotic love, which is basically sexual attraction. It's basically more of an animalistic attraction rather than a humanistic expression of one's love, vitality, and well-being, which for the most part, while it may involve sexuality and sensuality, is not finding its basis in that. Is more heart-centered. Okay, so without getting into, that's a whole nother conversation. What I want to stay in the conversation of is a conversation about integrity as the source of miraculous occurrences. So we started off the show talking about people's, yours and mine, inauthentic relationship with reality, meaning that we're constantly referring to the past, projecting into the future, and avoiding the present, never really consciously saying, I'm just here right now. When you get to a moment of pure, true, unadulterated, unfiltered experience of yourself as now, it'll bring you to tears. You will be moved to tears by yourself, by who you are and what you're capable of. You will realize all that you are. In that moment, you would not want to be anywhere else. The past is nothing but an imagined occurrence in the now moment when you experience yourself fully. The future is nothing more than a good idea. Let's have more of this now moment. And in those moments when you actually are able to stop all the churnings and workings, and all of those things are all completely survival based. They're all based upon a very, very old and ancient model called keep this thing, this physical body thing, alive. Keep it alive. That's what it's about. All of it can be traced back to a very fundamental, absolutely life or death determination, and therefore design to keep this physical body alive. And even most of the altruistic, what we call altruistic, like not really for me, for others, even that altruistic point of view is about keeping this alive, because if I keep others alive, if I help others, I'm more likely to stay alive myself. So by endearing or ennobling or offering protection to others, I'm actually protecting myself. That's a leap in consciousness. It's a more expanded value system, obviously. But those value systems are all based on staying alive. And so even the notion of love, many studies have been developed. I don't necessarily agree with them. I simply inform you of them, in which the question of, is love actually a survival mechanism? By loving our children, by having our children love us, by loving a man or a woman and having them, behaving in such a way so that we receive their love, is that not just another form of survival, a more sophisticated and perhaps pleasurable form, and a form that opens a door to a type of spirituality, a type of valuing of human life, a type of feeling and knowing oneself to a deeper extent through the intimacy of experiencing and exchanging love with another. So has the human mind developed a survival mechanism that has opened the door to a higher consciousness? Or was this higher consciousness always there, and it finally filtered down into an animalistic, primitive mind that it only cares about keeping itself alive? Because in that state of mind, in a primal state of mind, if you only care about keeping yourself alive, then others are easily sacrificed. There's no love in that. There's only doing what is best for oneself in a very animalistic way. And of course, we're seeing a lot of that all over the world, all the time, every day. That's who you're looking out for every evening when you go and unlock the door to your house and you're checking, or you put on your alarm system, or you lock your car. You're looking out for that. Okay, because it's still prevalent in the world that, what works for me, to heck with everybody else mentality is still very, very powerful in this world. And yet, there is enough love and well-being and vitality that it is overwhelmingly impenetrable, if you will. And I believe that, or I wouldn't be having a show called Love Talk. I wouldn't be having a company called Embrace Growth. I wouldn't be leading workshops called Honor, Integrity, and Mastery. I wouldn't be married to a woman that I love dearly who does workshops and shows called Donyaye Esh and so forth. In other words, I truly live it and believe it because I know it and experience it on a very personal and first-handed basis. So what I'm sharing with you is not some theory that I've read up or cooked up or even thought up. It's something that I actually live from day to day from my life, and have shared with thousands of people around the world who write to me and share with me, and who share with each other, and I get to witness this, how the more they love and forgive and adhere to having honor and integrity in their life, the more miraculous their life becomes. And so I want to also point to what I said earlier about the source of miracles, what you and I call miracles, being integrity. You see, it's my experience firsthand that all of the things that you and I would call good, all of the things that you and I would desire, that is, if you desire to have well-being in your physical body, if you desire to live abundantly and to have abundant resources of food, clothing, shelter, money, love, friendship, those kinds of things, the things that make most people happy, or most people are happy when they have them. If you want to have your life make a difference for others, and I believe this is, for me personally, the most satisfying thing about being alive, is that I get to participate in something in which I share my experience, as I'm doing now, on a first-hand basis with others, most of whom I will never meet, and touch others' lives in some way that gives their life more possibilities, alternatives, ways of living that create the atmosphere and environment of a loving and powerful and sharing community on a worldwide basis. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't know who wouldn't want to do that. I can't imagine somebody not wanting to actually make a difference for other human beings. Maybe they don't want to get a TV show and start a company and all that kind of stuff. That's my thing. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, I could have done a lot of things that probably would have made a lot more money, but this is what I chose to do, and this is what we love doing because it's the purpose for our life. And so your life has a purpose. I propose that you actually stop all of the mechanizations and inauthentic relationship with the future and the past and get present right now in your life. And in that present moment, to come to terms with what it is that is your deepest desire, what it is that is your deepest longing, your deepest yearning, the deepest voice within you that you can hear that would make a difference for other people, that would make a difference in your own life. And I promise you, from my own experience and from the experience of having participated in the lives of thousands of people, that the instant you choose, like you commit, not like, oh, that sounds like a good idea, maybe I'll do it. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if any of those other weak and faint-hearted wishes that seemed like a commitment, I thought about it, I wished it, I prayed for it. No. A commitment is when you actually take some action in the physical world. You mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually commit to something. Do the actions in your life that are, I want to say, commiserate with, that are coordinated with, that are aligned with, that are in synchronization with that intention that you originally knew was the truth. When you begin to take actions in those directions, miracles will happen. You see, all of these so-called miracles, all of these resources, people, circumstances, finances, whatever would be needed to fulfill that purpose that you commit to or not, are already there. They're already there and waiting. Just to give you an image, it's as if you were going down a hallway of doors, and behind each door is a person that wants to help you, or the finances that you need, or the physical health, or the breakthrough in your spiritual understanding. And each door has something that's just waiting for you. And you go down this hallway and the doors remain closed for most of your life. And you just go down the hallway, and it's a long hallway, and by the time you get down to the end of that hallway, you begin to wonder where you've been, what you're doing there, why go on, and you live in a hope that the future will be better. I'm here to tell you, you need to begin to open those doors. You need to begin to go down that hallway, opening those doors and seeing what's inside and asking yourself, how is this aligned with the purpose that I know is my life? Many times people come up to us, speak to us, offer us something. If you're attuned to your own inner purpose, in other words, you are in integrity with yourself, you are honoring your higher self, then you will know right away, is this something that is contributing to my pathway, or is this something that I need to say thank you very much but no thanks? Or is this something that maybe I can't do that, but this person over here might do that? And so in doing so, you've made the world a better place because you've connected people that had resources for each other because why? Because they were on your pathway. If it's on your pathway, it's no accident. And in doing so, doing what has integrity, in other words, the world will open up, doors will open up, resources will come forth that you could not have imagined. There are many times when something that was broken, that was not my problem, Okay, it was somebody else's problem, but I had to ask myself, why did this show up in my path? Why did it show up in my space? Why do I feel like I have to do something about it? It's not my problem. But I found that if I did something to handle that issue, even though it was for somebody else, that somehow that person had some other connection, and something shows up down the road, whether a week, a day, a year from now, that had I not done that movement, I would never have discovered or run into this seemingly miraculous occurrence down the road. All of your actions are creating circumstances or opening doors for opportunities that are wanting for your better good. They're wanting for your purpose to be fulfilled. There is the best way I can say it is a something that wants to happen. There is a something that wants to happen in your life where you are sitting over there in your chair, wearing your shoes. It's over there where you are, in your skin. There's something that's wanting to happen. It's always been wanting to happen. It was wanting to happen before you ever were even born. And I assert that you stepped up into that saying, I'll do that. I'm going to fulfill this possibility. You, my dear viewer, are a possibility for an expression of life that could be said to be divine in the sense that it is directly from the source of all things and returns back to the source of all things. You are a unique expression, a possibility that only is yours, that only you can do. And if you express it in the world and fulfill it completely, miraculous things will happen all around you. And if you don't, then the world will simply never have it. And you will be what we call unrealized. You will never realize who you are. You'll never realize your potential. And you will never have created that potential out in the world for other people. When even one of us fulfills their fullest potential, when even one of us, what we call realizes that yourself, and then goes to work developing their life out of that self-realization, even one person is enough to change the world. Even one person is enough to create an exponential growing, developing, and opening up of others' lives. Why? Not because you have to, not because you're supposed to, not because it's the good thing to do or the right thing to do, or because, you're bad if you don't. You're not. Why do it? Because you can. Simply because you can. Simply because it's available, because it's possible. Because without your possibility, you'll never know. The world will go on, the world will be fine, the world will be whatever it is. It may self-destruct. We may all kill each other or not. It's not that it's beside the point, but frankly it is. Because you only have something to say about your life and your possibility. And in that sense, you are the master. Now, you're either the master of your own life or you're the victim of your own life. As far as I can tell, there's no in between. Sorry. There's no in between. You're either going to master your life or you're going to be the victim of it, because life itself is moving on and doesn't care whether you like it or not. It's just present moment is the present moment. It is what it is. You can like it or not like it. No one cares. Maybe your mother cared when you were a child, and maybe she still cares because she's too attached to you as an adult, but ultimately, no one really cares whether you like it or not. And yet, you have the opportunity to absolutely master your life. And I'm asserting that the access point, the doorway, the highway, the narrow path sometimes is through integrity, through the distinction of has integrity. At every moment, at every circumstance in your life, you could ask yourself, because sometimes you don't know what to do, right? I don't always know what to do, except integrity is always very clear. Integrity is always black and white. This works, this doesn't work. It's very, integrity is not a big mystery. Everybody knows integrity. We don't practice it, and a lot of people don't even know what the word means, or because it has been related to good and bad and right and wrong, moral and ethical, heaven and hell, suffering and enlightenment. We've related the word to so many positive, negative aspects that most people would rather just avoid the whole thing. Most people would rather just like not even inquire into what is that meant by the word integrity. Integrated. The word integrity is based in the word integration. You are integrated or in harmony with the way things are working. An engine part in your car that is not properly integrated would probably blow the engine or wreck the car. You see, when it's working as it was designed to, then all is well. In fact, it can be very well. It can be beautifully well. You don't have no idea what that car or person might be capable of. So if you want to discover what you're capable of, it's very simple. Begin to be in the present moment. There it is again. There it is again. There it is again. It's always right now, right now, right now. Can you just be right now in integrity with your own life? So a lot of people have been led to believe that integrity is very hard. And I would have to agree that it is, well, no, I don't have to agree, but I tend to agree that for most people, living a life of integrity is hard. Many people have asked us, well, in a world where nobody is living with integrity, in a world where integrity is not even a conversation that people are having, in a world where what is the norm of the day, what is the socially accepted way of being, is to have no integrity, to actually cheat and lie and get by and sneak or withhold or whatever, but not a life of integrity. That's not what's going on out there. That's not what's going on out in the world. Your banker, your politician, your religious leader, husband, your wife, your kids, your teachers, I assert, are mostly not only not living a life of integrity, they're, for most of them, and obviously anytime you make a general statement, all general statements are not true. Can't make a general statement that's absolutely true because it's a general statement. So there's exceptions to everything, of course. And so I'm saying that for the most part, generally speaking, people aren't even concerned with living a life of integrity. They're all mostly living their life as a victim and complaining about other people that don't have integrity, you see? So-and-so cheated me out of money, they don't have any integrity. My wife cheated on me, she has no integrity. I cheated on my wife, I have no integrity. Whatever it is they're saying to themselves and to each other, it is from a victim point of view, which in and of itself has no integrity, because it is an inauthentic relationship with reality. Life is not happening to you. Life is reflecting back to you that which you are putting out, and you're either putting out with integrity, meaning in alignment with your highest intention, or you're not. We've had a number of cases in which people have broken their integrity around us. I'm talking about my wife and myself. They have not kept their agreements, or they've literally gone out of their way to actually try to cause havoc or mischief or harm. We never look at ourselves as victims. We always look at, where was I out of integrity? Where did I see this coming and didn't either put a stop to it or avoid it? Where did I actually invite something into my life that I knew in my deepest heart was not going to work? Where was I lying to myself about what would be possible there? In other words, there was always some inauthentic, not bad, not wrong, but some inauthentic relationship to reality. In other words, living in hope. Living in hope, again, is like imagining a future, liking that future that you imagined, and then hoping it would turn out. Integrity is causing a future that is going to happen because you said so, and because you're making it happen by doing everything necessary to cause that future into existence, and that you're not doing anything that would harm or put into question that possibility. You are only doing what works and what you know works. In other words, more like how I described the masculine way of relating to hope, and that is that men tend to take chances on things, mostly that they're pretty sure are going to work. Tried it, it's worked, proven to work, I'm pretty sure it's going to work, because men are trained on a subconscious level from prehistoric times, that their brain development was trained by life or death situations. So in a life or death situation, again, you're not saying, well, I hope this works, right? You're like, this has got to work, and I'm going to make sure it works. So it's a little more intentional than hope, and it's a lot more intentional than hope. It's like causing something to happen. The whole point of the conversation is, if you want to have miracles in your life, if you intend to cause miraculous personal self-realization, have that self-realization contribute to the lives of others in such a way that you have the opportunity and the possibility to live in a world of love, communication, intimacy, vitality, abundance, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. If that's something that calls to you, then stop hoping about it, or stop regretting it, or stop being a victim about it, and start being in the now present. Start bringing into your life and taking actions in your life that are in alignment, causing the likely, almost certain outcome that you're intending to have happen. So in that respect, we have, at Embrace Growth, caused situations, circumstances, environments to be present so that people who have a high intention, people who are up to causing a future of love and abundance and self-realization, would find along their path something that actually worked. The real case is that without integrity, you don't have a life. Without integrity, you really have no life. You have, at best, an existence. Yeah, you'll exist. You'll wake up every morning because you didn't die the night before. You'll move through your life like a long hallway of closed doors, and you will experience, at the end of your life, having had some wins and some losses, some tragedies and some miracles that you can't account for. That's how most existences go. To have a life is to live with integrity and to actually cause those events that others will say are miraculous. People will look at your life and say, "What a miraculous life," or "You created a miracle," or "You caused a miracle in my life." And the truth is, all you did was open the door to what wanted to happen anyhow. Something that was aligned up since the beginning of time, wanting for the betterment of your life, of others' lives, wanting to manifest in the world as love, joy, vitality, fulfillment, self-expression, intimacy, and well-being. That's wanting to happen all the time, already, always, anyhow. So when you open a door and allow that to come in, it looks like to others that you just did a miracle. But all you did was open the door to what wanted to happen anyhow. The key that unlocks those doors is integrity. The key to integrity is being alive, alert, and aware in the ever-present moment, instead of having an inauthentic relationship with the past and the future. Authentically, reality is here and now, always, and if you can just be here and now, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else, because that's where all the power is, that's where all the fun is, that's where it's actually happening, and that's where life is. So to have a life, you need to be present. To be present is to be in integrity with yourself. To be in integrity with yourself and the universe, and to have a life, is to have access to all manner of abundant and wonderful occurrences that are wanting to happen. And when those occurrences begin to occur in your life, it becomes your life. It becomes the very life that you're living, not some imagined future, not some desired being, but the actual manifested way of your life. Others will look at your life and say that that's miraculous, but you'll know that it's just what's so. I love you, I respect you, and thank you for watching my show. My name is Gregory Morgan, and you've been watching Love Talk.
The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store. A haven for the weary soul, a source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times.
قدم به قدم، از آشنایی تا عشقی ماندگار، توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان. هر کجای رابطه که هستی، پیش از شروع، ابتدای راه، قبل از ازدواج و یا مزدوج و بچه دار، با شرکت در این سمینار خارق‌العاده عشقی ماندگار در زندگی خود خلق کنید.
اگه واقعاً بخواید که فکر بکنید که من مرحله به مرحله چجوری با یک کسی آشنا بشم و چجوری رابطه رو تشکیل بدم که تبدیل بشه به یه عشقی که ماندگار باشه توی زندگی من، حتما بهتون توصیه میکنم اوناییتون که واقعا براتون مهمه یاد بگیرید این مراحل آشنایی تا نگه داشتن یه رابطه. حالا همه میگن خب من نمیخوام ازدواج کنم، منم اصراری ندارم کسی میخواد ازدواج کنه نکنیم، ولی لااقل یاد بگیریم یه رابطه سالم رو بتونیم نگهش داریم.
ونکوور، شنبه 8 فوریه ساعت 7:30 عصر. بلیط های خود را همین الان از وبسایت و یا اپلیکیشن Embrace Growth تهیه بفرمایید و یا با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید.
Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com.
در کارگاه‌های آموزشی بانوان به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان، خود واقعیتان و همچنین مردان را بشناسید و با استفاده از قدرت زنانه خود روابطی سالم و عاشقانه بسازید. همبورگ 28 فوریه تا اول مارچ، لس آنجلس 17 تا 19 آپریل، تورنتو 26 تا 28 جون و ایروان ارمنستان 6 تا 8 آگوست برگزار خواهد شد. 310 460 2600 embracegrowth.com. قدم به قدم، از آشنایی تا عشقی ماندگار، توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان. هر کجای رابطه که هستی، پیش از شروع، ابتدای راه، قبل از ازدواج و یا مزدوج و بچه دار، با شرکت در این سمینار خارق‌العاده عشقی ماندگار در زندگی خود خلق کنید.
این سمینار بسیار سمیناریه که توش چیز یاد میگیرین، یعنی اصلا تکون دهنده است، مثل یه ورکشاپ میمونه. یعنی همه حتی فارغ التحصیلای ما تو سمینار بودن میگفتن این سمینار خودش مثل یه ورکشاپ مینی قیمت $25 و واقعا میخوام بهتون بگم به اندازه 300-400 دلار برداشت میکنی از یه سمینار چند ساعته. حتما بیاین ما رو ببینید.
ونکوور شنبه 8 فوریه ساعت 7:30 عصر. بلیط های خود را همین الان از وبسایت و یا اپلیکیشن امبریس گرو تهیه بفرمایید و یا با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید. یک مرد منحصر به فرد، مسلط، متمرکز، قابل اعتماد و رضایتمند باشید. کارگاه شرافت، عزت کلام و مهارت به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان. لس آنجلس 13 تا 15 مارچ، تورنتو 16 تا 18 اکتبر و ایروان ارمنستان 5 تا 7 نوامبر. برای اطلاعات بیشتر با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید. اپلیکیشن امبریس گرو با ساختن اکانت شخصی شما می توانید وارد پروفایل خود شده و تنظیمات آن را تغییر دهید. به تمامی رویدادها و محصولات دسترسی داشته باشید. با چند کلیک برای سمینارها و کارگاه‌ها ثبت نام کنید و یا وقت مشاوره خود را رزرو نمایید. اپلیکیشن امبریس گروث را امروز از اپ استور دانلود کنید و به خانواده جهانی امبریس گروث بپیوندید. قدم به قدم، از آشنایی تا عشقی ماندگار، توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان. هر کجای رابطه که هستید، پیش از شروع، ابتدای راه، قبل از ازدواج و یا مزدوج و بچه دار، با شرکت در این سمینار خارق‌العاده عشقی ماندگار در زندگی خود خلق کنید.
اگر ازدواج کردید و رابطه اونجوری که دلتون میخواد گرم و صمیمی و پر از عشق نیست، اگر در قسمتی از رابطتون هستین که فکر میکنید میخواید اقدام به جدایی بکنید، نکنید. بیاید این سمینار، بعداً چیزایی رو که تو این سمینار میشنوید برید و در رابطتون پیاده بکنید، بعداً تصمیم جدی بگیرید. در هر مقطعی که هستید واقعاً بهتون توصیه میکنم که این سمینار خاص رو از دست ندید. به جرئت میتونم بگم بهترین سمیناریه که خودم تا حالا روش کار کردم.
با این سمینار متفاوت مخصوص مجردین و متأهلین دوباره عاشق شوید. ونکوور شنبه 8 فوریه ساعت 7:30 عصر. بلیط های خود را همین الان از وبسایت و یا اپلیکیشن امبریس گرو تهیه بفرمایید و یا با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید.